talked about money and happiness quite a bit on the show, and there have been a number of studies indicating that all you need is about $75,000 in an annual salary to be happy, because it's not necessarily about how much money you make, it's about how comfortable you are. And when you're making about $75,000, usually you're pretty comfortable.
Kind of a lot of money.
$75,000 is a lot of money, definitely.
A lot of people don't make that.
I know. But you know, there's always been like this misconception that you need to be a millionaire to truly be happy, and of course that's not the truth. You want to live comfortably, you want to make sure that you can provide the bare necessities, well, more than just the bare necessities, but at $75,000 that's usually the sweet spot. After that you do get happier, but you see diminishing return. So that's kind of the general consensus among most researchers, but it also depends on where you spend your money. And that's what I love about Michael Norton. He's an associate professor at Harvard Business School, and along with his co-author Elizabeth Dunn, they address the way people spend money and what makes them happiest. And as you can imagine, material goods don't actually make you very happy. Usually when you spend the money on experiences, you're more likely to have a fulfilled and happy life. So they mentioned two things that really stood out to me. First is social interaction. Usually if you spend your money on like a nice meal with your friends, you feel better because you have that social interaction. You connect with people, and that is more likely to give you pleasure as opposed to buying an expensive television.
So it's not better to go out to dinner alone?
Yeah. So Cara and I had this long discussion about how she's like confident enough to go out to dinners by herself. But you would be happier if you had someone to go with.
No, it's so depressing. No, but you know what's funny is they said something about experiences. They actually made a comment about buying experiences instead of stuff, and then they listed under stuff gadgets, music, books, lattes, and so on. But I think of music and books as being experiences.
I totally agree with you.
I think it's weird to lump those into stuff. That's things you do.
Yeah, I think music is definitely something that's enriched my life. Like I love music.
And books too.
And books too, absolutely.
Reading a book, that can be what you do all day.
That's it's entertainment. But the same argument can be made about television. People can make the argument that, well, watching a television show is an experience. Yeah. Which I think there's a little validity to that.
Well, I'm happier that I have TV. I have friends who don't have TV. They live under rocks. It is infuriating trying to have conversations with them about anything that's happening in pop culture.
So I no longer have a TV. But the reason why I got rid of my TV is because I started watching content on like Netflix and Hulu, and so
you're still technically watching TV.
Yeah, I'm technically watching TV, but I no longer have cable. I have like I need to buy an antenna or something to get the basic channels, but I'm just lazy about that.
I'm close to canceling my cable. I really am, because I watch so much on Netflix and Hulu, but I can't get rid of HBO yet.
Oh God. Okay, girl, just get someone's HBO login. I'm not sorry, HBO. I'll help you out with that.
Well, you know what? Once HBO decouples from the cable providers and starts providing HBO Go as a standalone service, it's going to revolutionize things. It's going to be totally different.
Absolutely. They also talk about anticipation, which I thought was fascinating, and it's totally true. So people are actually happier anticipating a vacation or an experience that they're, looking forward to, as opposed to just experiencing it. Yeah. Like, of course, you're going to have a good time when you go on vacation. You're going to be overjoyed. You're going to enjoy the pleasure of it, whatever. But the anticipation of that event is actually something that makes you more happy.
Yeah. Think about how different it feels if you're driving, if you're flying, if you're basically traveling somewhere new. Think about how different the journey there feels than the journey back home. Even in terms of like your perception of time, it's significantly different because you're so excited about going somewhere. You have these ideas in your head of what it's going to be like, which it almost never is exactly like that. But that fantasy is, sometimes even better than the real thing.
Sometimes when I book my vacation, I don't want to book it too close to like the current date. Like I want to book it months in advance because A, you save money, of course, but also I want something to really look forward to. And I get excited, like I book it and then I feel like this rush for a few months, and then I go on vacation and then come back to work and it's business as usual.